What is happening, my dear viewers? Thank you all so much for joining us on another F1 23 100% driver career mode with no assists, flashbacks, or race restarts. We try to treat this series as realistically as possible to attempt to showcase how difficult it is driving in Formula 1. In our case, we set the amount of acclaim we receive to low to simulate the cutthroat nature of the sport. With 5 DNFs already to our name just before the summer break, things are not looking good for driver Simon and the Spark Racing team. But after last weekend's stellar performance in Austria, where driver Simon managed to achieve his first championship points in Formula 1, things finally may be on the upswing for us. It was also Haas's first points this season. Hopefully that singular point is enough to keep driver Simon in his seat till at least the end of this season. Because clearly, our PR game needs work. We didn't receive any acclaim for that answer. We do have one more race before contract renewal, so if there is an opportune time for driver Simon to prove to Gene and Gunther that we belong, it is now. We arrive at Silverstone with a band-aid over the chip on our shoulder, but the chip is still there. We have a pretty good free practice, with the only issues coming from a moment of burnt rubber and cool saves on our toughest corner of this track. The SRT can't seem to find a good balance going through that particular corner. Despite those moments, we feel pretty fast on this track and we head on to qualifying.
Caught it though, that one felt good.
Finally, after 3 straight race weekends with unpredictable weather, we are finally blessed with a cut and dry race weekend.
Told me to do so. Look at those mannequins.
Unfortunately, driver Simon makes a mistake immediately on his first Baker lap, but that does not deter us one bit, so we continue on with the lap and put in a 129.5. He is surprisingly only 2/10 behind Nico, and thanks to how close the bottom 4 teams are performing, the gap to Q2 is agonizingly close. We all go out again, on fresh tires and low fuel to make that gap, but much like the past 2 weekends, we get into that goddamn dance with the AI where they refuse to pass you, and then pass you, and then suddenly brake check you as they try to let you by a la Max Lewis in Jeddah.
What the?
Our battle with the Alfa Romeo doesn't end there, as we interfere with both of our flying laps, and we give the British crowd a taste of what's to come tomorrow.
Oh my god, what an overtake.
Driver Simon unfortunately did exceed track limits during that scuffle, and we start at the back of the grid for the 3rd race in a row.
Screw you, Bottas, man.
Had we not gotten that warning, that lap would have gotten us around P8. But man, look how close the cars are at the back of the grid. This should make for a very action-packed race. The difficulty is set to 92, the Spark Racing team heads on off to track. If we can perform how we did last weekend, we have a very good chance of gaining quite a few positions on the opening lap and coast to some much needed points. The SR team opt for a soft medium strategy, which is a bit risky to do on a high tire wear track like Silverstone, but part of our game plan expects driver Simon to eventually tuck himself behind a car to save on the tires and battery. There are a variety of strategies going into this race, and I really hope F1 24 VR has the option to turn on a HUD, because on a track like this with the amount of strategy going on, boxing at the right time can be really beneficial to your race. And without a track map or any sort of HUD, we are left to the whims of the in-game strategy. Looking at the gameplay footage, there will be more windows showing your team objectives, so if they don't have that fixed for VR, we are going to have a big problem right off the bat going into next year's game. So Cody's, please, fix your shit. Anyways, driver Simon lines up on the grid and we await for the 5 red lights to turn on here in Silverstone. And someone's turned off the lights again, and we are off motor racing here in Silverstone. An even getaway for driver Simon, so we make sure to take the inside line going into turn 1, which we managed to just get through without running into Nico by lifting. But that does not stop driver Simon to send another huge AI-only dive bomb to get alongside the Alpine. We are not done yet. We're one of the few cars on soft tires, so we have to make the most of it early in the Grand Prix. Driver Simon is consistently faster on braking when compared to the AI, but they usually make up the time on exits.
Nice.
We are going to have a lot of run-ins with the AI going into left field because of it.
Hey, Danny boy. Or is that you, Yuki? This is gonna be spicy.
Here, driver Simon goes for a beautiful wheel-to-wheel moment holding the outside line around cops. Woo! What a move! Silverstone is so damn exhilarating.
Whew. Wow, what a race. What a start. Probably go for a...
Driver Simon pulls another move that only works with the AI that has some sort of self-preservation skills. I actually wouldn't advise that kind of aggressive dive bomb in last year's game, for example, as the AI will probably turn into you even if you were right alongside them and not a dive bomb. But we are being strategic about these overtakes, because if we lose any more time than we have to, a gap will form to the cars ahead, leaving us stranded. With Driver Simon already in P13 and on an aggressive strategy, we may have a shot at points, so it is full-on attack mode for the first few laps. Another aggressive dive bomb against the Williams, and we now have our eyes set on Stroll.
Let's settle down. Still about 50 more laps to go.
The Spark Racing team was considering using Stroll as a tow, but it is clear Driver Simon has the better pace at this stage in the race. And after a track warning limits going through maggots, Driver Simon thinks fuck it and decides to go for it. Stroll defends beautifully, so the team instead decide to use Stroll as our tow to preserve on battery and more importantly, our tires. We'll have to rely on the AI squabbling to keep us in the picture.
And what happened there? That's an alpha on softs.
Right, we need to get past here. Use overtake, use overtake.
I know what I'm doing, Mark. Let me race. Let me cook. I'll conserve these tires as best I can. And they're having a nice back and forth. Wow, they're still side to side. That's crazy.
Well, that is, if Driver Simon can stay in the picture. A slight miss in the braking point, and we lose so much grip going off the racing line, and lose some precious time.
Didn't the battle.
Gasly
That's what I meant
behind.
to do.
We're leaving the car behind by 0.8 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres. We think they've got one more stop. Your last lap time was a 1:32.9.
Totally missed the gap. He's behind me though. Catching up. He's just squabbling.
It is super tempting to try and go for an overtake while going through Luffield, but that McLaren up ahead holds the first championship point for this race. And if we mess up and take too long overtaking Stroll, we may lose touch to the Piastri. So, be patient, Driver Simon. We still have 15 long laps to get our points.
Don't know how to follow a car through here.
On lap 5, Stroll overtakes the McLaren, so the Spark Racing team orders Driver Simon to overtake him as well before Stroll can get too far away. A bit of a late defensive move from the Piastri, but we are through thanks to the inside line going into Luffield, and we are back staring at the rear end of our favorite Canadian boy. Our current in-game rival Guan Yu Zhou is surprisingly in P9, which isn't too far ahead, so the Spark Racing team again orders an overtake at the very next DRS straight, and this time, Driver Simon manages to stay alongside him going around our trickiest corner, and we make the overtake stick. Let's hunt down that Alfa Romeo and prove to Daddy Ferrari that we are the better, worse team.
Although,
We're in the top 10 now. Keep it up.
I don't know if I can...
He is on softs like us, which explains his pace and position. I believe this is Zhou's first shot at points this season as well, and 2 points for Alfa Romeo is huge. Let's try to piss on the parade, shall we, Driver Simon?
Let's just push like hell. Not as easy as the heavy race load. That will happen next lap.
Shoes ahead of you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old softs. Okay, their tyres are 7 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. Time last lap was a 1:32.9. And you're closing by 0.4 a lap. Keep it going. Gap to your teammate behind is 3.1 seconds.
Oh, Poe. Damn, alright, gonna overtake him there, Driver Simon? Holy guacamole with chips, this ain't over yet, is it?
Oh, you want to do this, huh? You want to do this?
Alright, let's fucking do this, Joe, let's go! Woo! He couldn't handle that chipotle salsa, baby. P9! Our straight line speed is nothing to scoff at either.
Well, he has DRS now.
Okay, gap ahead is 4.9 seconds.
Can't seem to keep up, though.
Alright, let's try and build a gap to him, but we did have to use a good chunk of our battery.
It's back and forth. This is losing us time.
But we don't want to completely drain it early in the Grand Prix,
I don't really have the battery to defend.
so Joe is still peppering us from behind and keeping us honest. So the Spark Racing team decide again to shift strategies and use Joe to be our tow for the time being.
He's just so slow in here. Our tires are going to start to drop off in a couple of laps' time, and that means the hards are going to easily overtake us.
Our logic is that we'd rather not scrub up our tires if we're going to keep this back and forth with Joe, and it doesn't look like he can pull away either. We'd rather be the car behind. As we all know, Driver Simon drives much more consistently following rather than leading.
Probably try to conserve my tires best I can right now. Big lifts. Big lifts.
Our tires, namely the front left, is just about to start dropping grip, and whew, there it is. Called it. Driver Simon just manages to keep the car off the racing line, and we only nick our front wings with only like 2 cars. Whew, whoa, look at that. A front wing went flying there. And thankfully, the stewards only penalized us for one of those collisions.
He ran into me!
VSC is deployed to clean up the mess Driver Simon has caused. We have fallen only to P17 with that spin, so thankfully, our race is not completely over.
It looks like a virtual safety car's being deployed due to an incident with multiple vehicles being stopped on the track. We need you to drop your pace.
God damn.
So let's put our head down and get this done. We still have 42 laps of this Grand Prix to go.
Still in this race, we can still get a decent result. Cars are really bunched up. We can easily overtake them on this track. God. Head down. Let's not. Still got a very long race ahead of us. Constant vigilance. We're in Hogwarts land. I wish the movie would be proud. Or we'll make him proud. Constant vigilance.
The VSC ends on lap 10, and it is not long before Driver Simon starts putting in the moves.
Green flag.
Man, this part is so scary when I'm pushing. They're very slow. I should be at the front of this back. That's how much positions I lost.
We immediately overtake the AlphaTauri on lap 11, giving us back P16. The Spark Racing team is afraid that the cars we previously overtook will be harder to catch up to now, thanks to their harder compound tires. But then again, I do forget that they are AI, and they do a great job of holding themselves up, much to the delight of Driver Simon.
Ooh, you like that bump draft? That was a bad turn, but you're gonna get... And McLaren's holding us down.
But thanks to our own tire wear and some of the dirty air, he is unable to stick by them as closely as he'd like, and now he is on the defensive from the AlphaTauri we just overtook. We figured the outside line would be the better move in case we get boxed in by the AI, but we get boxed in anyways when the AI brake way earlier than we do, and thankfully the Sin Damage Gods grace us once more with his divine presence, and we barely lose anything with that contact but our pride. Now, the dreaded gap caused by an ugly overtake is already forming.
Fuck me, man.
Gap to your teammate ahead is 2.0 seconds.
Okay. All that battling is good for me, though. Look at that. All that time regained.
And the ensuing push only adds another track limits warning to our name.
Ah, damn it. I'm starting to get some understeer now. I gotta be careful there. Here we go.
But with that, at least we are back in the DRS. And right away using the DRS, we go for it, and the Hangar Straight has never been this lively so far this Grand Prix.
Oh my god. Piastri!
Woo! Another terrifying near race ending moment, but with that double overtake, we are back to P14 with P13 just ahead.
My racecraft is all over this place. Damn, he's slow.
Our tires still got some life in it, and we know where we're strong. And of course, right as I say that, Driver Simon goes for an overtake on a corner we haven't overtaken on yet.
Does he have damage?
And And still, we fly away with the DRS, one of the best feelings in Formula 1. Let's put our head down and catch up to our favorite Canadian.
Nice, Nico. Brilliant. I just caught that.
Good pace. You're catching the car in front by about a second a lap. And you've got P13. Stroll ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Albon behind. Okay, gap to the car behind. 1.0 seconds.
Oh, damn.
Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, gap to leader, 26.9 seconds. The pit window opens in 8 laps time. Right, mate, that's 39 laps to go.
That's that DRS.
I'm not sure if the sudden drop in AI's pace is from tire wear, sending the AI too low, or driver Simon finally finding his pace after an intense first stage of the Grand Prix, but either way, it's crazy how much Stroll's pace suddenly dies, especially on braking. Left field, of course, being a specific spot where the AI is extremely weak. So, on lap 15, we order driver Simon to go for it.
You get him too, Williams. He's slow.
We lose touch to the DRS to P11 and our battery is getting pretty low. But some people are boxing and driver Simon gets into the points once more. We now have a Norris on fresh mediums right behind us.
Norris behind.
What happened?
They're on fresh mediums.
Oh, soft furnace of boxing. If I can get a toe from this guy, that would be ideal.
We have no reason to keep the British man behind us, and he may even be able to help us catch up to P11. But he is impatient and tries to go for it like an absolute madman at one of the fastest corners on the calendar. Good googly moogly. We both somehow come out facing the correct way.
Didn't think he was actually going to go for it. Although I should have let him. So I could have gotten the toe, but...
In hindsight, driver Simon totally should have just let him by before the DRS detection zone, because without it, we really stand no chance against the McLaren and their home turf. Back out of the points for now, I guess.
You're pretty good to tires, all things considered.
That's Stroll behind you. Okay, car behind trailing us, 1.2 seconds. Their tyres are 16 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. And the time last lap was a 1:35.3.
Stroll is still behind us just out of threat, even with some mistakes like these.
Oh, how was that not a penalty?
Ricardo behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on old mediums.
Our position is safe for the time being as Stroll and Ricardo get into their own scuffle for P13. Funny how art imitates life, huh? Ricky Boy has the pace on us now that our softs are dying, so the Spark Racing team calls driver Simon in to box for mediums a bit earlier than we originally planned. And look at that, the in-game Hastrat team thinks so too.
Oh my god, please tell me you're not broken. Please tell me you didn't break.
But we do hope that the MFD isn't broken though, because we've never had this problem. It's just not going away.
Alright, you guys are ready for me. I got a 5-second penalty. All good, all good. I could lose some gas actually.
Thankfully, the strategy chain does go through and the MFD eventually cleared itself. But god,
What?
really?
No!
A safety car? Could we have timed that any worse? I mean, technically yes, but you know what I mean.
Ooh, that almost happened again. Wow, Nico, you better freaking get something from this. Penalty gonna have happened at the worst time. Damn it! Are you kidding me? What a race. What a race.
We don't get a lot of safety cars in this series. I think this is only like the second or third one so far, but man.
Only I stayed out. If I wasn't so hasty with their call, my team called me in literally at the worst time. Man, this is what it's like.
So this is how it feels being shafted by the stewards, huh? Damn.
Can't believe that they actually have to deal with this. Like, man, poor Lewis. I feel like there are multiple times that season where he got shafted by a ill-timed safety car.
Joking me.
Well, they're on hards, it looks like, so I have a tire advantage, so I can overtake them because they're all bunched up coming from a safety car. But man, that's frustrating.
Safety car in this lap.
Editor Simon, could you count up how many safety cars we've had this? Actually, wait a second. Make sure to actually show the cause of the safety car this time, alright? Last week, you totally dropped the ball on what caused the red flag, so we will never know. So just do your job this time. Let's know what caused the safety car. Anyways, we come out of the pits P18, but thanks to Norris retiring and cars boxing and such, we end up behind the Williams at P15 behind the safety car. Nico is a few places ahead of us as well. Despite losing our undercut advantage thanks to the ill-timed safety car, driver Simon still has a tire advantage to the cars around us. They are on fresh hards while we are on mediums to the end. If our strategy is to work, driver Simon needs to get a move on as soon as the green flags are a-waving. And on lap 22, they are a-waving, and so goes driver Simon. He wastes no time and sends a dive bomb only fit for AI, and somehow we get through contact-free.
I gotta stop doing those moves. I only survive because they're AI. I'm gonna show them more respect.
Even without DRS, our Haas on fresh yellows makes easy work of the AlphaTauri, P13. Keep it going, driver Simon.
Things might get ugly between me and Nico.
The next DRS straight, we dispatch one of the baguettes again without any DRS. He forces us to go around long way, but we know by now how slow the AI get around here, so driver Simon gets it done easy. And I will stress again, I really do hope the whole first and second driver mechanic thing actually works in next year's game and extends on-track team orders.
Gonna make up a lot of time. You gonna be nice, Nico?
Nico has no reason to hold us up right now as it'll hurt both of our races. Thankfully, he doesn't put too much of a fight this time, but honestly, that could have gone a lot worse if we accidentally rear-ended the Williams.
He's slow on the corners.
Which driver Simon eventually does do around our favorite mid-speed corner around Silverstone.
Don't bump draft. I'm from America, baby. That's how we do it over stateside. That's how we American boys play. Let's do this.
With DRS now enabled, we make easy work of him on the next straight.
Oh, no, you don't.
And with that, driver Simon is back in the points.
No.
That's Joe just ahead. Push for that position. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 1.2 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Their tyres are 5 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 31.2. Okay, you're dropping back by around 2/10 each lap.
So we're basically where we started, actually. Nice.
And more points is just ahead of us.
Let's just conserve battery and tire life.
And with them scuffling like that, the Spark Racing team is having a blast in the paddock.
Now we watch these two.
Driver Simon is feeling it today, dear viewers. Another insane AI-only dive bomb is sent. Let's hope F124 AI isn't as much of a pushover like this year, but not as much of a mirrorless stroll like F122. Just split the diff, Codies. Alright, we're just passing the halfway point of this Grand Prix and we got a current rival ahead of us. Driver Simon, let's get it done.
If we can overtake Joe, we have to. These are crucial points.
Okay, you're in ninth position. Chu ahead. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Gasly's behind you. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on fresh hards. Our gap to first place is 9.7 seconds. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. And 26 laps to go now.
We actually have to get it done because the Alpines got the pace again and on our ass like hungry peasants on ignorant bourgeoisie. Driver Simon attempts to King Louis it and attempt to go around the outside, but we instead open the door to the Parisians and we lose a position for our troubles.
Gasly. Brilliantly done. Now go get Joe from me, buddy. You're not our friends, right? I'm like a Staben. Yeah, he was sticking to him close. Oh, that's not a smart move.
We have to be careful that we don't lose too much time fighting amongst ourselves for these oh so important championship points, as we don't want to give any up to the Williams behind us.
That's Albon behind you. Okay, push. Gap to the car behind. 1.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 12...
He's still got a bit of a cap, thankfully, but if the AI can't resolve their issues, the Abalone may find himself in the picture for points.
So even though it seems like there's nobody behind me, he is quite close behind. Great job, Gasly. I am a big gas man, especially after Mexican night.
So the gas man finally gets through, so now driver Simon can have another go at our rival. But first, a couple laps of energy saving.
30 is so scary. So I do have a lot of battery saved up. Ooh. Yeah, pump it up a little bit. Right as I was about to go for an overtake.
On lap 30, we go for another attempt around the Italian-powered Chinese.
Right, we need to get past here.
You read my mind, Mark. Sometimes we're so in sync. Other times, like, what the hell are you on?
But driver Simon just can't make it past him.
Damn it. Joe can get feisty when he wants to be, huh? He can get the claws out. Wow.
We don't want to be held up any more than we have to, as we need the gas man to be our toe. So driver Simon tries one more time, but instead ends up pegging Zoe.
Fuck you.
Somewhere out there, another virgin has been sacrificed to the sim damage gods, because somehow our nose is still clean.
I'm on full sim damage.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Vehicle condition.
Ocon behind. Our gap behind is 3.3 seconds.
Damn, I'm just not quite there yet. Alpha's so tough in a straight line. Alfa Romeo is like a slightly better version of Haas right now. Both car performance, car manufacturer or engine supplier, driver lineup, parallels are something. Alright, let's go for it.
Driver Simon goes again, this time on the outside, and other than Joe being a little rude,
What are you doing?
we finally get it done. Back to P9, baby.
Dude, why? Like, probably locked up, to be honest, but it always feels like it was a personal dig. And now we don't have the DRS anymore.
Alfa Romeo is our biggest rival this season, and these single-digit points are huge for our constructors' battle against them. It's a huge uphill battle to catch up to them at this point, so every point counts.
Not so cut and dry against Joe, is it?
Unfortunately, driver Simon does lose touch to Gasly ahead, which allows Joe to try and send one in a very unconventional place to send one. If you watched last weekend's race, you'll know what driver Simon is up to. This is some DRS bum baiting at its finest.
I mean, now I'm just gonna overtake you with DRS. We're just gonna be losing more time. Brother, you know this. There's no way I can catch up to Alpine with these tires. So it's going to be a tough battle for P9 now against our biggest rivals this season.
However, we just can't seem to break away from our new best friend, so we had to fend him off a few times to keep these precious points.
Don't you do it again. I'm just gonna let him by, and just gonna tuck behind him for the rest of the race. Conserve as much battery and tire life as I can, and then attack near the end. As usual, I need a car to follow behind for my consistency. Or not. Can keep up. Oh yeah, can. Don't do it.
So
Don't do it.
Car ahead, 3.1 seconds.
Damn it, we brought all this wobbling brought the cars behind, and they're on fresher tires than me. This is gonna be a problem. Can I hold on to points? P8? How do I get P8? Oh, nice. We got some Alpines. Alright, I'll let you by.
Eventually, the Spark Racing team decides it's best to let him through. We have to start conserving our tires if we want to stay competitive at the last stages of this race. Let's just use the other patented SRT strat of just tucking ourselves behind a car to regenerate some battery and save on our tires.
Carlos is in the back, somehow. Oh, maybe that's... Never mind. It would be nicer on my front left. Big lifts. You are slow, Joe. 16 more laps to go.
But much like 10 laps ago, driver Simon starts to get pressured by another Frenchman.
Oh, whoa, it's about to get spicy up in here.
And forces a mistake and takes P10 from us.
Nice one, Gas Man. Oh, that's not Gas Man. That's Esteban. Gross.
What the heck? Where the hell did you come from? If an Alpha Tower gets a point, that can be huge in the overall championship standings, but huge not for us. So driver Simon just fends him off.
Alpha Tower on the verge of the first points this season, actually, so we gotta keep them at bay. Alpine, take over that Alpha for me, please. The enemy of my enemy is my buddy. Please, get ahead of him. Oh my goodness. Esteban, come on. Temporary truce between us for mutually assured success. So please, do your part. Oh, why are you doing it there, though? You're an idiot. Why would you do it here of all places? Come on, come on.
The Hangar Straits is getting some real action now. Driver Simon tries again to go around our rival.
Shit. I tried to be sneaky. Should have gone on the inside instead.
But again, we just fall short of the apex.
This is my chance to overtake and use an Alpine again for a tow. Alas, my racecraft is not quite there yet. I feel like Carlos is going to come and ruin all of our races very soon. It's too slow. I'm too slow. Go! The fifth car had the bump draft in that one corner. Here we go. We'll do it. Not the best exit for me.
After a better job of tucking ourselves behind Joe, driver Simon sends another attack around Stowe, and driver Simon finally gets it done.
Tight. Keep it tight.
Damn, what a good race.
Nice. Brilliant. Nice move. Keep going.
Absolutely exhilarating. Getting the AI difficulty just right for an intense wheel-to-wheel action is seriously an amazing feeling. Alright, we got Esteban next, and driver Simon doesn't really get along with Ocon, so this should be entertaining.
I might have the pace now to be faster than the Ocon, but definitely don't have the consistency to stay ahead, so I'm just gonna let him tow us to victory. As long as we finish ahead of the Alfa Romeo, we're doing our part against it in the constructor standing. Nice.
Shoe behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 20 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1 minute 32.6.
Unfortunately, before we can get our grubby hands on him, the French engine decides to strike at the worst time and instead tries to suffocate driver Simon with some dank French shit.
Get out of the way!
He nearly loses the back end too thanks to the lack of brain cells. Woo! The Spark Racing team will take that as a victory. Damn, my brain feels a little fuzzy. P8 with a free high.
I lost a lot of time there and I lost my toe. It's not good. This probably wasn't good to inhale. It smelled like burnt bacon, actually. Interestingly enough. Oh shit, that was a mistake. Gotta go tighter on that turn. Got 10 more laps.
Tyre condition still looking good. You're sat in P8, well done. That's Gasly ahead, and gap to the car in front is 6.5 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, shoes behind you now. Less than a second separates you. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Okay, so gap to the leader is 31.4 seconds. The pit window is open, pit window currently open. Okay, we're into the last 10 laps now. 0.0 seconds.
The gas man is nowhere to be found now, so the SRT now just needs driver Simon to dig his heels in and hold position till the end of the race. We still got about 20 odd laps to go, and now we will be at a tire disadvantage.
Seems like Carlos is making it harder for them behind. I think he decided to overtake them. Yep, that's Carlos.
That's Sainz behind you now. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on old mediums. Okay, they've done 10 laps on those tyres. Time last lap was a 1:30.6.
Just gonna let him buy it.
Speaking of, on lap 44, a Ferrari pops out of nowhere and steals 2 points from us. Oh man, we didn't even get the DRS.
It's gonna be nice for once, you know? And now I'm gonna lose a position. Now give me the toe, buddy. I can keep up on that. Oh no, that's about it. Wow, look at that. We're catching up so quickly on the straight. Oh. But I lost it all. Ah, fuck. Always Joe's.
That's Albon behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 1.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 29 laps old, and the time last lap was a 1 minute 32.2.
Thankfully, Joe and Albon behind us start duking it out for the final points, which keeps driver Simon in the clear for a little bit longer.
That is good for us, although Williams is our next closest rivals. Season reach goal is to beat Alfa Romeo, and the actual goal is to beat Williams. We lose to AlphaTauri, that's a problem.
Well done, but be aware these tyres need to get us to the end of this race.
Somehow I was out that mark. Still gotta be careful about penalties, that could completely ruin our race. I'm driving pretty conservatively though. Five more laps. Come on, let's bring it home. Ooh, what's going on there? Some spicy hard racing. 50%. Oh, he's caught up. Oh, he's already passed him.
Albon behind, and the gap behind us is 2.1 seconds. They're on old mediums. Okay, their tyres are more than 30 laps old. Your last lap time was a 1:32.1.
Actually does seem like they're catching up to the Aston Martin. Probably not enough to do anything though.
Gasly's ahead of you.
Oh,
Our gap to the car in
gas, man.
front is 8.0 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Time last lap was a 1 minute 32.6.
Oh, you're
okay,
lapped.
so gaining
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try to get my first car to lap this for my season, in my career. And it's Stroll, I believe, I'm gonna be lapping. That'd be a great feeling. Oh. Somebody caught my left tire there. Well, I have the satisfaction of lapping my first car here at Silverstone. That is the plan. That is the goal.
For the first time in about 3 or 4 races, driver Simon sees blue flags for the first time about 3 or 4 races, but this time they're not waiting for us.
In my life, I'm the only one that sees the other end of that.
Somehow, our favorite Canadian boy is right in front of us, a lap behind. Despite our tires being way past their prime, the Spark Racing team eggs driver Simon on to try and lap our Canadian pal just to fuck with him. And fuck with him we do, dear viewers. Fuck with him we do.
Yeah, and I get a DRS. That's how we do it. First blue flags as the overtaker. Bring it on home, boys. Bring it on home. Max, damn it, he came back. He came back. Back to his winning ways. Woo! Just a couple more corners. A couple of the scariest corners, to be honest, so let's not get too cocky just yet. Wonder if the difficulty is too low. We did try to raise it, but hey, here we go.
And so, driver Simon crosses the line with a career high of P9. 2 straight checkered flags in a row, and 2 finishes in the points in a row. What a result! Driver of the day as well. Woo! I think it's the second one, the first one being in Monaco. and lapping our best friend is just icing on the cake. Driver Simon just threw a huge monkey wrench onto the negotiations table. Out of the 11 races so far, Driver Simon has crashed out of 5 of them. We only had to DNF once mechanically at the first sprint race in Azerbaijan. But at the same time, he is the only one so far in the team to have delivered points. The much more experienced veteran Nico has been way more consistent this season, with his only DNF caused by Driver Simon's mistake, but he's still below him in the overall championship standings thanks to his lack of points. What would you do, dear viewer, if you were in Gunther's shoes? Would you re-sign Driver Simon to finish up this season? Or would you try to find a driver that has a higher finishing rate? Because as we learned in real life this season with Williams, you can't just pluck a chassis off a tree and stick it onto your car. And Driver Simon has gone through how many? Any boop? I do hope you guys subscribe and stay tuned for the next video, where the Spark Racing team will face Emma and the Haas team at the negotiation table to determine Driver Simon's future. But who knows, this current timeline might be completely wiped when we ultimately reset the universe for F1 24. So, enjoy your existence for now, Driver Simon. You will not exist in a month's time. I will also be streaming a lot more, either here on YouTube or on Twitch, whichever you guys prefer. As now that I am unemployed and back to freelance work, I actually have an opportunity to try and make this my full-time job, which has been a dream for Driver Simon back when he was still making Modern Warfare 2 montages over a decade ago. I doubt any of you guys will actually understand what that means, but alas, I am waffling. I hope I see you guys next week, but if not, I do hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll probably see you never.